Here are 3 moments from The Simpsons that used to scare me so much when I was a kid.
Scaredy cat. Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more pop culture content. Let's get into it. Okay, so of course, The Simpsons is the iconic millennial TV show. We all used to watch it every night, particularly here in Australia, 6 o'clock on Channel 10. And of course, The Simpsons is really well known for its treehouse of horror episodes that were often parodies of famous horror movies.
You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh. You wanna get sued?
But even though these were like comedy parodies of horror movies, there were often moments when I was a kid where I was genuinely very scared of these episodes.
Yeah!
But maybe not the ones that you would quite expect. I wanted to talk about 3 episodes of The Simpsons that genuinely really scared me when I was young. I'd love to know yours, so comment below, but the first one I want to talk about is The Raven.
It's called The Raven.
This was a segment from the original Treehouse of Horror many, many years ago, which was essentially a Simpsonized retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's famous poem, The Raven.
Suddenly, there came a tapping.
I don't know why this scared me so much as a kid. I think when I was a kid, I didn't quite understand that these were parodies, and I just found them really, really strange. But particularly this one, like tonally, you go into this weird gothic Edgar Allan Poe world where everyone's speaking weird and there's this deep voiceover sort of saying the poem. And then Bart is the Raven and just says nevermore.
Quoth the Raven.
Nevermore.
And that's literally it. I just found that deeply unsettling when I was a kid. The entire setup of this was so scary to me, and I just couldn't grasp what was going on. It's funny because even in the wraparound after the segment, Bart says that wasn't scary at all, to which Lisa explains, well, maybe kids were easier to scare back then. But the irony was that I genuinely was scared, and there is no Simpsons moment that scared me more than that segment. It was just so ominous and weird, tonally so different to what I was used to with The Simpsons, and I did not like it at all. It's a good thing Marge used to come out and warn all the parents not to let their kids watch these episodes though, so whew, thank God for that.
Tonight's show, which I totally wash my hands of, is really scary. So if you have sensitive children, maybe you should tuck them into bed early tonight instead of writing us angry letters tomorrow.
Okay, the next one also might not be what you would expect, but it genuinely scared me a lot when I was young. And that is the infamous Simpsons episode, Homer Cubed.
What's going on here?
Another Treehouse of Horror segment, but this one was quite unique. Homer finds his way into like a virtual matrix and ends up being in 3D.
I feel like I'm wasting a fortune just standing here.
I actually remember this at the time being super groundbreaking. Like everyone was like, wow, you get to see The Simpsons in 3D CG animation. And it was like such a curveball for everything that was happening at the time. Like you've got to remember this was at a point of time where like CGI animation was not common. Like this is only a few years after Toy Story, which was like the first movie to kind of do this. I mean, if you were a kid born in like the mid 2000s, which I'm sure many of you are, maybe you don't remember a time where like visuals like this were groundbreaking. So it was such an unbelievable thing to see Homer like this. And while this actually has some of the funniest moments I can remember from The Simpsons,
Here is an ordinary square. Whoa, slow down, egghead.
the thing that really freaked me out about it, genuinely, was the moment at the end when Homer enters the real world.
Oh my God, look at that.
I think my kid brain just couldn't process this. Like, it just scared me how, like, real it looked that Homer was in the real world. And the idea of him just walking down the street was scary to me. It was almost like I could imagine myself seeing this in my real life, and it just didn't add up to me. My kid brain was so confused because this was like a cartoon I had seen on TV, and here he was walking in the real world alongside other real people. And again, my kid brain's like, nah, this is not okay. This is very scary. I don't like this at all.
Homer Simpson has stumbled into the third dimension.
It really freaked me out a lot. So, I don't know. And also the fact that Homer seemingly gets trapped in the real world. I just didn't like the idea that he was out there wandering the streets. Like, this cartoon character come real life Oh man, it's still too much. Okay, finally, and this one is also probably going to surprise people, but maybe not, because it's not a Treehouse of Horror episode at all. This episode scared me so much as a kid, and it is the episode The Springfield Files. If you remember, this is a crossover episode with The X-Files, which is amazing.
Agents Mulder and Scully, FBI.
Is this about that pen that I took from the post office? I swear, I didn't know I put it in my purse. Then I was going to bring it back, but the dog chewed it up, and that just made things worse.
Like, looking back now, I think this episode is absolute genius.
I'll ask you a few yes or no questions, and you just answer truthfully. Do you understand?
Yes.
But I have spoken to a lot of people my age about this episode, and all of us agree that this was one of the scariest moments in our childhood. It is when Homer sees the alien, this glowing green alien with a high-pitched voice that says, "I bring you love. I bring you love." Of course, the episode ends and we find out that it's simply Mr. Burns. Everything about this episode was so ominous, and before you find out it's Mr. Burns, you genuinely do feel really scared of this thing.
It's a monster! Kill it! Kill it!
It's not a monster. It's Mr. Burns.
I think I had also never seen anything like that in The Simpsons before, so it genuinely creeped me out, and it just made me feel unsettled as a kid. Plus, the voice is also really, really creepy.
Don't be afraid.
I remember when I was a kid, our neighbors had this green luminescent light that we could see over our fence, and one night we were watching this episode on TV, and we saw that light, and it just absolutely horrified us. Overall, The Simpsons has been responsible for many, many sleepless nights in my childhood, and I am so glad that I don't get scared about this stuff anymore. Oh, thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more Halloween content and more pop culture content, more TV, movies, games, videos, stuff. I don't know. Just subscribe, okay? I'm nearly at 8,000. My goal is 10,000. I'm nearly at 8,000. It's awesome. Jump on board. Check out my links in my description. I do a podcast, I do a blog. I'm all over the internet doing dumb stuff that I think is cool. So make sure you check a bunch of that stuff out. That is all from me, though. My name is Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind, and I will catch you later.